boxing voice.
All right, we're live. Thanks, Jonathan. We just want to get in a little update, man. It's been a minute since we talked to you, and it's been a minute since you've been in the ring. Just let us know what you've been up to since then, and how have you been healing up since the injuries?
I've been up to. I've just been going through a lot of therapy because of the injury, and now that everything is back going good to go, 100%. I'm more than happy looking forward to getting back in the ring.
Now, have you been doing sparring for this? Like, have you been cleared to spar, or are the hands 100%?
Yes, sir, I have. Yes, sir, I have.
Okay, so how long would you say you've been in preparation for this fight?
Well, I just found out about it like 3 or 4 days ago. Fight being official.
No. I know about the fight, the actual fight, but I mean, you've been out of therapy how long, and you've been, back to your normal Jonathan Banks routine since how long now?
I've been out of therapy for about 4 months, clear, about 3.5 to 4 months ago, and I've been back to my regular routine since then.
Okay, so you're back. So you're also training with Vladimir Klitschko, preparing him for his fight as well, correct?
Yes, that is correct.
So what do you think of old man Tarver, man? I mean, you're coming into this fight with 45-year-old guy. He's looking to make history on you.
Yeah, that is true. But, the reality basis is Tarver is gonna be Tarver, man. He go do his thing. And my job is to win. My job is to control the pace of the fight, and my job is to win. And that's what I plan to do.
Now, a little bigger than you, is that gonna, have any disadvantages on you, or the fact that you spar so much? For Tarver.
When have you known Tarver to be bigger than me?
Well, he's definitely taller than you, Jonathan. I've been next to Tarver. And last time did I believe his last fight? Didn't he weigh in? Wasn't he overweight his last fight, even though he's a heavyweight? I'm gonna look it up. Beeb, can you look that up, Beeb? I think he was like.
I have to explain something to you. Jonathan Banks is 6'3". Antonio Tarver is only 6'2". Jonathan Banks is a full-fledged heavyweight. Antonio Tarver is a cruiserweight moving up to heavyweight, basically a light heavyweight. So I'm gonna have to disagree with you on the size. I think Jonathan's bigger than Antonio Tarver. He's the bigger man. He's the true heavyweight, and I think Antonio Tarver is the guy that is the smaller guy in this fight.
Well, the technicality that we all know is that Antonio is moving up.
Yeah, it's okay.
We know that he's moved up in weight, but we also know that he's the bigger fighter because he's been out of boxing for a minute, dude. He's gotten big. Have you guys not seen him or something?
I believe we all have seen him, but when I'm thinking, I think we talking about two different things. When I think of he's bigger than you, I'm thinking of this massive guy.
No.
And when you say he's bigger than me, you looking at him from what he once was and now to what he is today. Now he looks even bigger.
Exactly.
But that doesn't bother me because I've been fighting big guys literally all my life. I started off in 2004 sparring Vladimir Klitschko. So. As a professional of 1-0. So I've always been able to adjust the guys that's bigger than me. That's not the problem.
And I'm assuming you're not worried about the power because after he moved up in weight, he really hasn't been able to get a knockout or anything like that. So are you looking to come in and be the aggressor, or are you still going to be the boxer?
When you mention power, I think any man with gloves on, especially 10-ounce gloves on, have a chance to hurt the other guy on the other side of the ring. So, I don't dismiss nobody with, long as they got two functional hands, I don't dismiss them when it comes to power. But will I be the aggressor? Yes, because I'm just at a point. I'm like, I feel like I'm starving. I'm super hungry. I can't wait to get back in the ring, to get back to action.
Do you feel like you have something to prove after the Seth Mitchell fight?
Of course. Why not? I've been like so terrible because what kind of freak accident was this? I just been like, man, like I couldn't believe it. I was prepared. I was ready to go, and I mean, you just don't know what's going to happen when you enter the ring. That's the reason you get prepared. But I definitely have something to prove. I'm thinking about it, and it's more so for me to prove. Every fight I have to prove something, because the reason no trainer in the history of the sport, the head of heavyweight champion, was active, because they say it's not possible to do this. And the reason no fighter have started a training career while he was active, and plus to have the heavyweight champion of the world as your fighter, it hasn't happened because they said, you know what, you lose focus, you shouldn't do this. So it means a lot to me to have to be able to get back in the ring and to prove that this can happen, because it happened already. It never happened before up until 2012. It never happened before. But it's happening, and it'll happen again.
Do you feel like when it's all said and done, you're going to get the accolades as a trainer for Vladimir's accomplishments?
I don't have to get those, because I dedicate everything that I do with Vladimir, every piece of success Vladimir has, I dedicate it to Emmanuel Stewart, because if it wasn't for him, I never would have been in position. I never would have been taught the things that I was taught. I mean, you talking about someone that was around this man since he was 15 years old. So I've lived with him. I traveled with him. So in that regard, I don't need credit for Vladimir's success or me training Vladimir. Vladimir would tell me, he told me a couple of days ago, he said, dude, I'm telling you now, Emmanuel Stewart would be so happy, he's so proud of you. I said, yeah, that's all well and good, but because I can't, what I look like comparing myself to him. No, and I didn't take over for Emmanuel. I just filled in the shoes because I'm only doing what Emmanuel taught me to do. So I don't need the accolades of becoming, for Vladimir's success. I don't need the congratulations for Vladimir's success, in my personal opinion. That's why I'm still chasing my own success.
Well, Babe, you want to step in?
Yeah. I know, Jonathon, that you've had issues with your thumb before the Seth Mitchell fight. How is the hand right now, and are you able to really go full blast in training? I know you said you've been back in camp, but do you feel that you're going to have to start off slow in camp, and are you fearful that you may re-injure the hand if you don't?
Nah, I'm not. I don't even think about it right now. The thumb. At one point, doing the preparation, you come with the thumb, I ended up breaking it. And just keep in mind, this is the first time ever in my life I had anything to break on me. And then for the actual rematch, for me to have a really, really bad fracture in the first round, it was like a freak accident to me. But I'm back full throttle. I'm going 100%. I've been going 100% the last 2.5 months or something like that. So as far as that goes, I'm good to go.
Now, were you surprised at all that you got the call from Antonio Tarver's camp for this fight, because he's been off for a little bit, you've been off for a little bit? It seems like this fight just came out of nowhere.
Was I surprised? No, I wasn't surprised, because I just said I wasn't surprised that I got the call, but because I was actually supposed to fight him August 2nd.
Oh, okay.
That was actually first fight. It was supposed to be August 2nd, but I didn't think the fight was going to happen because I didn't hear nothing, and I was already training, so I didn't hear nothing for that. So I figured that it must not go happen. And then when I figured it wasn't going to happen, Vladimir called me and told me, Vladimir Klitschko called, said he got his mandatory coming up. He told me his date, I said, well, I haven't heard nothing about my date, so, you know, I just continue my training with him. And we started our training. And in the midst of that is when I got the email and the phone call about the fight being official.
So when you do get a fight signed and, you know, basically he's in training, do you guys work with each other? Do you guys help each other prepare for the fights? Do you guys spar at all, or how does that work out?
No, me and Vladimir don't spar anymore. No, not at all. I mean, I'm his trainer, so
yeah.
He got his schedule. He got his training schedule. I know his training schedule because I know I got to be there with him, and I got mine. So I train. I just train before he do, and then when he come in, I'm ready to go to train him.
Now, yourself and Antonio Tarver, you kind of let the fight develop. You guys don't always jump out of the blocks fast, so you have a history of sometimes being a slow starter. How do you think this fight is going to play out? Do you see yourself as maybe having to put your foot on the gas pedal and forcing this fight, because he likes to be the counterpuncher, and you may just have to take that role to get things going in this fight?
I don't have a problem with that at all. I mean, I can't really guarantee until I get out there, but I really do feel that, yes, Jonathon Banks will be the aggressor in the fight.
Now, when you saw Seth Mitchell get knocked out against Chris Arreola, and then you go back and look at your last performance against Seth Mitchell, and obviously you knocked him out previously to that, did you just say to yourself, well, that should have been me in the second fight? I should have been that guy that jumped on him. You know, how did I let this go? You know, he was.
I didn't say that. I'm sorry. I didn't say that when I saw Arreola knock him out. I said that immediately after that fight, because I just like, my hands was numb, everything that touched it hurt, killed it, but, you know, I mean, one thing about boxing, and I think a lot of people may realize or may not realize, but when you have a lot of it is a learning experience. Some people have to get a close decision, majority decision, to get a learning lesson. Some people, it's just different things that give you different lessons in boxing. And now I look back at that, and it's like a bitter taste. No one likes a bitter taste. And as of right now, I'm like, I just made up my mind. I'm willing to. My hands will have to be literally off my wrist for me to stop throwing punches, like, ever again.
I got you. I want to ask you one last question. Obviously, you're training now with Vladimir Klitschko. That's a pretty good job. I mean, that's a nice little gig you got for yourself. Was there ever a temptation, because you have that nice position with him, to maybe focus 100% on that and maybe hang up the gloves? Not that you needed to, because you really haven't been taking punishment, not because of that, but because maybe, you know, money-wise and comfort-wise, that would be a more suitable position to somebody instead of getting punched in the face for a living.
The thought never crossed my mind. You know, being raised and taught by the late Gertie Manuel Stewart, he always taught me how to position myself and always be able to generate more than one source of the income. Because if something happens, that income fails, it's like, what you gonna do? You have nothing else. So me training Vlad is just another part of my passion. It's a teaching thing. I love to do it, so it's not a problem, and I also love to fight. So I don't look at that as, I said this once before, I'm not teaching somebody how to play golf. Everything I'm doing is all under the same umbrella. It's in a different part of it, but it's all under the same guidance, because it's still all about boxing.
I got you. I thank you.
Now, Jonathon, does it become a bit of a burden, carrying the name Emanuel Stewart and that legacy, because people are expecting some sort of expectation out of you? You have a certain standard because of that legacy?
You know what? I carry I'm not 100%. I mean, a lot of first things people say is, yeah, John's training him. He's not Emmanuel Stewart. And I agree. I'm not Emmanuel Stewart. You know, I'm not looking at myself to be Emmanuel Stewart. Emmanuel what he taught me, I gathered it. I learned it. And what he showed me is no matter what, you be who you are. Because you can't be who anybody else is. And that's what I do. I am who I am. I train guys according to, I was under the tutelage of Emmanuel Stewart. So a lot of his ways I have, a lot of things he do, I do, because that's who I learned from. But as far as looking at me trying to be like him, I mean, I would like to walk in his footsteps. Who wouldn't? What young trainer wouldn't? As the highest decorated trainer in the history of our sport. There's no other trainer that has this decoration. You know, so why wouldn't I want to be like this guy, this man? But I'm not. That's not what I'm looking to do. I'm not trying to do the things that he would do, but at the same time, I do the things that he taught me.
Now, just switching gears and focusing on your career as a trainer, tell me a little bit about Leandre White, because it's a guy that I contacted, and I'm going to be setting up an interview next week with him. But I know that he trains out the Crunk Gym, but, going over his resume, there's a couple of wins that he has, and he's undefeated, but the level of opposition isn't they've been, like, debuts. He's fought, like, a lot of debuts, bottom line. Yeah. So, like, is he still working with you guys in the Crunk Gym, or is this something that was once upon a time and no longer is? Because it just seems like his career is kind of stagnated.
Yeah, it was one of them things that was once upon a time, that's not is now. But Leandre, he's a nice guy, man. He's a super nice kid. But it's just that a lot of people don't understand that when the Emmanuel Stewart closed his eyes, actually, exactly where I'm at now, that's where I was at when he died. I was in Austria. And the Crunk Gym was closed. The gym that it was open at one point, it was closed. So the kids was going to different places, trying to still train and stuff like that. So Leandre ended up getting himself a totally different trainer. So I mean, he it's just one of them things that I guess just so happened to happen that way.
And staying again as a trainer, what do you say to, I guess, the rumors or speculation that this whole thing between Shannon Briggs and Latimer is choreographed and that it's a setup to get, another easy fight with Shannon Briggs?
Dude, I promise you, man, this is my word. If it's choreographed, Shannon's the only one choreographing it. Seriously, he's the only one that know about the choreograph. Because, seriously, this is crazy because I was talking to Vlad, a couple of weeks ago. I'm like, dude, seriously, no, he's going too far. You know what I'm saying? Because Vlad trying to calm me down when he first said to me, you remember that Mr. T killed Rocky's trainer.
Yeah,
and I'm like, dude, what did you, that's like a death thing. You don't joke around with nobody like that. So Vlad looked at me and said, JB, listen, he just run his mouth. Calm down. I said, no. See, they looking at Shannon Briggs being in Florida, this and that. I said, Shannon Briggs ain't from Florida. Shannon Briggs from Brownsville, New York. That's what y'all got to, that's another thing y'all got to understand. And but to answer the question, no, it ain't nowhere near choreographed. And, I told him, dude, you have to have certain people in place so that can't happen. What if you would have got cut? What if you would have got mad through that glass and it would have cut you all on your arm or something? So it's getting too dangerous, man.
So as the trainer, are you going to step in and get some sort of security team? I mean, we've seen other fighters.
I already have it because I'm not about to do no street fighting. That should be done and over with now. What we street fighting for? Professional athletes get paid to fight. Why we got a street fight? That don't make no sense.
So the security, is the security the only lines of, I guess, of defense? Or, I mean, is Vladimir going to contemplate taking care of it in the ring? I mean, clearly that's what Shannon wants.
we talked about it, okay? We talked about Shannon Briggs, this and that. And I said, well, I always thought Shannon Briggs was an extremely smart guy because he knew how to create controversy. And the world loves controversy. I don't care who you are. If there's something controversy going on, people want to know about it, hear about it, read about it. They go find out about it some type of way. And that's what he's doing. But at the same time, I think it's unfair to a lot of other fighters who climbed their way in the top 5 and the top 2 for him to just come and talk his noise and run a bunch of rampages and get a title shot.
Absolutely right. Well, that's all my questions. Beeb, if you're all done, I guess we'll wrap it up. Jonathan, if you have any social media or something you want to give out at this time for our readers and also our listeners and viewers, you can do so. And as always, the Boxing Voice appreciates your time.
It's my pleasure, man. They can go. I got a Facebook like page at Facebook at Jonathon Banks, and you can follow me on Twitter at Jonathon_Banks.
All right. Well, thank you very much. We'll stay in touch.
I appreciate it.
All right.
All right.
The Boxing Voice.